Hi everyone and welcome to week 9. In week 9 we're going to be reading chapter 15 and chapter 18. I also have a practice quiz for you as well, and we have discussion board number 5. I have some teaching summaries where we'll give you some interesting insights to those chapters that I developed and some ancillary materials as well. For chapter 15 we're going to look at investments, time, and capital markets. You'll notice that capital markets is looking at the stock market, and the stock market has many fluctuations in our economy. And we're going to be looking at the role of stocks versus flows. When you look at stock, you're going to be looking at this is how capital is measured. We look at capital stock and how much types of investments or how much machinery that we have versus the flow, which is the flow of money. You're also going to be looking at the level of interest rates. And interest rates are the cost of borrowing money. Now we can do it two different ways. We can do it the present discounted value or look at the future value when we look at capital markets. So those are some of the concepts we're going to be looking at in chapter 15. Now in chapter 18, we're going to be looking at externalities and public goods. An externality is classified as a cost or benefit to a third party. You'll notice that when an externality is present, the government has to get involved because the markets are not able to solve on their own. Examples of there's two different types of externalities. There's a positive externality, there's a negative externality. A positive externality is an externality where there's a benefit to a third party, whereas a negative externality is where there's a cost to a third party. An example of a negative externality would be something like smoking. And what we look at smoking, you'll notice there is costs that are associated with smoking to third parties. And third parties will have to satisfy in terms of if someone smokes a cigarette, you'll notice that someone will have to pay for the healthcare cost, but that doesn't really occur. What happens when we look at the healthcare cost of smoking, you'll notice that cigarette does not pay for the true healthcare cost. So that's positive and negative externalities have a lot of different fluctuations. You'll notice that the government has to get involved in these externalities to create market stability. That's one of the challenges our economy is facing. When the governments have to get involved, that creates a lot of challenges. So when there's a lot of challenges that are facing, markets don't operate and solve on their own. And that's a key concept. When markets can solve on their own, that'll bring about a lot of challenges. And that's a good thing. An example of a positive externality would be someone picking up trash. When someone picks up trash, that's a benefit to society. You'll notice that when we look at externalities, you're going to have different things to solve for externalities. So with a negative externality, you're going to have taxes, government regulation, and other various fees. Those types of externalities are very important because those types of regulations will bring about change in markets. So that's what you'd want to focus on this week. You'll notice this week we have discussion board number 5. So let's go over some of the topics that you might see. Now, here's the discussion board topic. I want you to explain one negative and one positive externality that you have experienced or consumed. What type of market solution would be appropriate to solve for these particular externalities that you've described? Now, why do you think externalities are classified as a type of market failure? So you want to make sure to have your first post by Thursday, which is worth 10 points. In your initial post, it should have an APA formatted in-text citation and reference. You get 10 points for content development and 5 points for use of economic terms. Also, you need to have 2 peer responses, which are worth 10 points each, they should be at least 1 paragraph. All work is due by Saturday, and if you want me to pre-grade your work or anything, please let me know as I look forward to your effort.